marketing heads are changing every 2 months. The average tenure is 2 years.
Why is that?
2 years.
Why is that, Subhash?
That's the way the economy is growing and people are just jumping from one job to the other, and therefore a certain long-term perspective has started to erode.
So this is a really interesting bit of the conversation that we're having. Now, Subhash, 30 years and counting, given the fact that we are also chatting with a lot of the young breed today, how have things changed? And I'd like for you not to be biased one way or the other.
I'm not biased. I'm not biased at all. In fact, the beauty of this business is that it's made me feel like a student at every stage.
Right.
So even now, after 35 years, I'm learning from much younger people who are into digital and stuff like that. And there's, you can learn so much again. A lot has changed. When I first joined, for example, print was the heavy thing, and therefore English copywriting was very much in demand. Copywriters would write the ad, hand it over to the art director to lay it out, and then it would go into studio to make the artwork, and then it would be for release.
Right.
Then the whole concept of creative teams came, where copy and art people were teamed together. Right? It was not about one or the other. Television was becoming big that time. So thinking audio visual, thinking music, thinking voiceover, thinking characterization, suddenly people realized you could emote far more in a moving medium than in a print kind of a medium. So the roles of print and the roles of television started to become different. Television became the real mass medium, right? And at the same time, India as a country was culturally opening up, right? We started to wear our Indianness on our sleeves. We were much prouder with our own Indian idiom. And that is the time when people like Piyush Pandey and all, came up brilliantly.
Hamara Bajaj.
Yeah.
Hamara Bajaj was there from Lintas. Then Piyush wrote Chal Meri Luna. Ye Fevicol ka jod hai, tutega nahi. I was there when Piyush wrote the first Fevicol commercial.
That, in my mind, was just at another level.
Yeah, but in those days, look at the transition. Piyush first moved from account management into a department called language creative, where all the translators would come and sit. When Piyush was heading that, it's much after that he became overall creative.
All copy was written in English and then given to the language department to translate. Right?
That was And
Piyush changed everything.
Piyush changed that.
Right.
And there was such fantastic thing. Even Mile Sur Mera Tumhara, the words itself which Piyush wrote for Suresh Malik's film. I was there when he wrote it. It was so instantaneous. And even the stuff that is written later on, Har Ghar Kuch Kehta Hai.
Yes.
Kaun is makaan mein apna ghar basata hai. I mean, these kind of things. And if you see, then a lot of other people also came up, like Prasoon, written such brilliant stuff. And there's so many creative directors today who are able to express in the Indian idiom without needing to first write it in English and then translate. You think Indian, you're proudly Indian. So that big change happened. And then towards the end, of course, the whole digital revolution in the last, I would say, 10 years has again changed completely the way people interact. There are both good and bad things about that. I just find that in the digital world, there's a lot more freedom for expression because people can say what they want about your brand on social media, right? I also feel that things have started to feel a little more tactical than long-term brand building. Okay. Everything is more instantaneous and now, and even marketing heads are changing every 2 months. The average tenure is 2 years.
Why is that?
2 years.
Why is that, Subhash?
That's the way the economy is growing and people are just jumping from one job to the other, and therefore a certain long-term perspective has started to erode, right? Look at the number of clients preferring to go for project-based relationship versus retainer-based relationship. Now, projects can be very exciting, short-term, profitable. But I find both the client and the agency team on projects is less emotionally invested in the brand.
But isn't
you just hired me for 3 months, I've done the job, given you, take my money, I'm off.
But isn't that very transactional and hence...
So that's the bad part of it. It is becoming a little more transactional. And those of you who are hearing, please don't be so transactional. No, I would urge people to say, build partnership, build longer term thinking.
It also raises the level of efficiencies because a lot is then communicated and understood, and you build then every time you meet on a fresh project.
But again, either or. See, it's not either or. It's a combination of both because given the way digital mediums are today consumed, you do need constant refreshment and excitement. Otherwise, people will just shut you off, right? If it was only on television, you made one television commercial a year, maybe 2, maybe 3 for a brand. Some of the big brands may be more.
Yeah.
But otherwise, 2 or 3, it's refreshing, right? It'll run for 2-3 months. In social, your messaging has to change every week. Otherwise, people just write you off.
No, virtually every day, actually.
Yeah, so then what are you doing? So a lot of that has changed. And like I said, not all for the good, not all for the bad.